guys, Melissa Marie here from Salon. So I'm really excited because today I just received my new BH Cosmetics contouring palette. Oh, so pretty. So I'm gonna show you guys how to contour on light skin. Like myself, I'm very white, very pasty, kind of blended into the walls a little bit, you know, no big deal. So this is what the palette looks like. I'm very excited to use it with you guys. This is awesome. I love BH Cosmetics. All of their products are so amazing. They are all so pigmented and they are fairly cheap, and I just love using their stuff. And I'm also going to show you guys the right steps and procedures that you should be taking when contouring somebody with light skin. So when I was first starting out with makeup and I tried to contour myself, I did not know the correct colors to use, and I used to use very, very warm, deep tones to use as my shading, and they just came out awful. I look like I got burnt in the tanning bed, or I look like an Oompa Loompa, and it wasn't cute. So now, with all my knowledge that I know, and I finally figured out the right tones that I should be using on myself when I'm contouring. So usually when you're contouring with fair skin, you want to use something that's more on the cool side and nothing too warm. You're really trying to create a shadow. If you use any type of warm tones on your skin, it's just gonna look like you have a giant orange line on your face, and that's not cute. So let's get started. Just so you already know, I already prepped my face and I used the Urban Decay Pore Perfecting Primer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my foundation, which is also new. I'm using the Liquid Foundation by BH Cosmetics in shade Light Olive. I love this stuff. It's awesome. It's very, very thick. You only need a little bit. You don't need too much. So first I'm going to cover my entire face with my foundation. Great thing about this foundation is that it's so silky and it applies to the skin so smooth, and it has a lot of coverage to it. It's one of my personal favorites. So now that I've finished applying my foundation, I'm going to go back in with my concealer and cover up any of my blemishes, and then I'm going to set my foundation and my concealer with my translucent powder, and I will be using the MAC Prep and Prime for today for my translucent powder. Okay, so now that I have set my foundation and my concealer with my translucent powder, now I'm going to go back in and start my contour. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my shadows first, and the brush you want to take is, I would say, a brush like this. This is from the Pop Art edition of BH Cosmetics. This is their 10-piece Pop Art edition brush set. I love this brush set. It's awesome. It's really soft. So what I'm going to do is I like to have a really detailed contour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in to outline my cheeks, my jawline, my nose, and a little bit around my forehead using this darker shade right here, this brown shade. And I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush, and I'm just going to start from my hairline right under my cheekbone and kind of bring it out to the middle of my cheek right here. That way, when I'm ready to blend it all together, I can bring it out a little further because I know that there's going to be a little extra up here. You only need a little bit because it's really, really pigmented. Like that. To the other side. Perfect. Now I will do my jawline. And you want to just lightly apply it to your face. Have the brush barely touch your skin, only because this stuff is very pigmented. Don't want to take too much on there and have a really harsh line. because when you blend these in, it'll make it a lot harder. Now I'll do a little bit of my nose. I'm going to put a little bit on the outer part of my forehead. So now that my shadowing is all done, I'm going to blend this in first before applying my highlight. I've noticed a lot of people when doing the contouring that they always end up putting on their highlighter and their shadowing on at the same time and blending it all together. The only reason I don't like doing that is because I think that when you're trying to blend everything all together, you want your contouring to be as natural as possible. And I feel that if you are putting on your highlighter and your shadowing in at the same time and trying to blend it all together at once, it's just gonna look really messy. It's not gonna look nice and neat. You want this to be as natural as possible. So I'm gonna go back in with my beauty blender and I'm gonna blend all the lines in to my shadow, and then I will apply my highlighter. And if for some reason you think you have to add more, then go ahead, add more. I only like to add a little bit because, again, I want my contouring to look as natural as possible. I don't want to have super harsh lines on my face that are really noticeable. So now that it's all blended, I'm going to actually go back in and just add a little bit more right on my cheekbones and a little bit more on my jawline. And this time I'm actually going to go in and blend with a powder brush just so I can still see the lines a little bit better. Just kind of do circular motions as you're blending this in. The good thing about the BH Cosmetics contour palette is that it just blends in so smoothly. You don't need a lot. I don't have to go in super hard when trying to blend this in. Alright, so now I'm going to go in and do a highlight. So this is going to be my first time using this highlight color. I'm going to use the white. I really like a nice highlight. I like to accentuate my features a lot. Usually when I do a highlight, I actually use my Naked Illuminated pressed powder, and the shade I use is Luminous. It's very sparkly, as you can see. It's really pretty. What I might do is I might actually blend the two together depending on how the white from the BH Cosmetics contour palette comes out. I'm going to take this brush, which is from the BH Cosmetics Party Girl brush line. I love it. All their brushes are really amazing, and again, they are really great quality for a decent price. So anyway, I'm going to go in with my white, and I'm going to highlight the bridge and the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow, right above my cheeks under my eyes, and then right above my eyebrows. This goes on really nicely. Look at how smooth it's applying to the face. It's such a pigmented color that I don't need too much. I just really like to go extreme when highlighting. The tip of my nose. So now that I have finished highlighting, I'm going to go back in with the same powder brush and I'm going to blend everything in. And I'm just going to do circular motions. That way we can get a really nice blending effect. So now that everything is blended nicely together, I'm going to accentuate my highlight a little bit better by going over it with the Illuminated Urban Decay Luminous powder. I really like my highlighting to shimmer and be a little bit more dramatic to accentuate my features like I had said before. And also I think it looks a little bit cleaner when you have a little bit of shimmer on there. I'll just go in and blend more. Perfect. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply my blush. And the blush I'm going to be using today is from the BH Cosmetics Glamorous Blush palette. They have multiple different tones. A lot of them are more on the warmer side, as you can see. Only, I want to say, 2 of them are on the cooler side, this one and this one. But today I'm doing something a little bit more natural. So I'm going to go in with this top pink color right in here. And it does have a little bit of shimmer to it. So I'm just going to take my blush brush and go over my cheeks with this color. Just lightly put it on. I personally like a lot of shimmer, so the more glitter or shimmer I put on my face, the better. If you think your colors are a little too harsh, which I do right in here, go in with your blending brush and just blend it all out. Or you can even buff it out with the Beauty Blender, but I personally like using a powder brush. I feel like I get a better blending effect with that than the actual Beauty Blender. Perfect! That's really it to contouring. I didn't do too much contouring. I did very little. I like a more natural look. I don't want to apply a lot of contour to my face and then step outside and look all cakey. I personally like to do very light contouring, and I also like to use the powdered contouring kits rather than the cream. The cream base is a little bit more heavier depending on your skin, or depending on how detailed and more in-depth you like your contour will depend on the product that best suits you. I am a BH Cosmetics girl. I love their stuff. I love their contouring palettes. So now I'm just going to go in and finish up everything else. I'm going to apply my eyebrows, my eyes, which I'm going to do a simple cat eye for this look, and a nude lip. Another quick tip that I personally love to do when I'm contouring is I really like to highlight the underneath of my eyebrow. It usually gives it a little bit of a lift. So I'm just going to go in again with my white highlighter, and I'm just going to go underneath and highlight right underneath my eyebrow. So now that I've finished, this is the final result. Thank you for tuning in today. Remember, beauty is only sin deep, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.